One,
back in
two,
my old
three.
seat then.
4, 5, 6,
Should be 7.
7, 8, 9, and 10 with Dave. 9.
7 plus 3 alternates.
One alternate.
Just go up and grab any seat then?
Yep. Aaron, you could just sit in the middle, you know.
Under no circumstances will I be in charge of anything.
Sounds all right.
Morning.
Morning, Jean.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Good.
How are you guys?
It's going good. This should be good.
All right,
Should be
so.
That's good.
I looked at the last time they did it and they adjourned in 8 minutes.
Oh, really?
So.
I wasn't able to see that when I asked Tess if she could find it.
I just looked at the
Okay.
minutes.
Don't,
Oh, okay.
ever look at don't watch last year.
Okay.
Last year went pretty good. Don't watch.
No, that was the one that was the first, my,
Like,
I was.
It's honestly mostly just a
clerk
bunch of people that have
wrote that one. I don't watch it. Watch like
not
the year before.
their personal.
Yeah, watch the year before, skip 2023 when I was clerk. That's the day.
2024 is.
2020, yeah. you
Okay.
had-
One.
You had a good, you had a good clerk at that time.
Yeah.
And then 2022, you know, you had Carrie, so you had the best clerk.
22 or 24?
So that's really all we needed, I think.
And you're Eric. I haven't met you officially yet.
Yep,
Nice to
very
meet you.
good. Deputy clerk.
Those are just agendas.
Is that what we have on this agenda?
Yeah, that's all we got today.
Where is it preferred that, like, do I sit back here?
So you can sit
Okay.
in these ones here.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just here for.
I might just do
To assist.
That's
Okay.
staff on deck table, is that how that works?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our on deck table. I think I might just sit over here this time out. Cause I can take notes on the computer.
What's your happy place?
I just want, I have to take the minutes, so.
Comfortable spot, yeah.
Might as well be over here somewhere.
Or you also maybe share.
No, I'm not gonna chair.
You want me to go grab my computer? You said you want to grab my computer.
Denise, right?
Yes, Denise.
Not like,
Like,
If
nice
you
to
would,
see
I guess, then I'll
city
sit
attorney.
there.
Okay. I'll go.
I'll make
Steve
an
should be
effort.
on here to actually sit at the table and perform that function.
So I think we should nominate Dave as.
Okay.
I think I saw a president sitting in 6 minutes.
Which day is it?
Over.
Oh,
Good morning.
It was when
Morning.
before Stephanie left, I was talking to them, like, well, city manager's on the board. And Stephanie's like, I'm gonna delegate that. And then she's gone, I'm like, no, there's no one for you to delegate it to, Dave.
Oh. Wonder if everybody else is gonna show up. But it's also still 5 minutes, and I'm notoriously early in most things.
We only had one person say that they couldn't make it.
Who's that?
Carson Deuce. Everybody else, seemed good to go. I emailed them last Thursday or Friday to remind them.
Seems like a reasonable course of action.
Nick, when I speak, do I come up to the podium?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you the new assessor?
I am, yes.
Cool. I'm Aaron.
Nice to meet you.
Good morning. I'd like to call to order the 2026 City of Eau Claire Board of Review. Deputy Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Nathan Anderson.
Present?
Aaron Brewster.
Present.
Hold on, my volume is on. Carson Deuce. Thomas Elbert.
Present.
Brian Lee. Ethan Reed. Benjamin Smazel. Dave Solberg.
Present?
Nick Kerner. Present.
Next item on the agenda is the election of a board chair and vice chair. This is the first meeting of the 2026 Board of Review, so that is an issue near and dear to my heart because that means I'm no longer chairing the meeting after election. But if we have nominees for chair, floor is open.
I would like to nominate Nick Kerner for chair.
There's been a nomination of Mr. Kerner. Seconded. Are there any other nominations for the position of chair?
I don't think I can do it.
I do also have to clerk the meeting though, so I'll be doing all the notes and that stuff as well, and calling all the rolls. So it might be wise to have somebody else be our chair. Not that I couldn't do all of the jobs at once, but
I'll nominate
Eric?
myself then. I'll nominate myself in that case. If you really don't want to do both,
yeah,
I can do the agenda.
I'd appreciate that. I'll second your nomination.
There's also an nomination for Mr. Anderson. Mr. Kerner, are you still accepting the nomination, or do you care to withdraw?
I will withdraw the nomination.
I thought I was going to have my first ever electoral contest for the position of chair of Board of Review. They didn't even bring a coin down or anything. That would have been exciting. All right. Mr. Kerner politely declines Mr. Solberg, but it was a good attempt. We have a nomination of Mr. Anderson. Any other nominations for the position of chair, Board of Review? Any other nominations? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Mr. Anderson, do you care to take the vice chair nomination, or would you like me to continue with this item before handing the gavel?
Go ahead and continue.
I've got it. Are there nominations for the position of vice chair? Nominations.
I would like to nominate Ben Smazel.
There's been a nomination of Mr. Smazel.
Second?
This is evidently what happens when you arrive slightly late. Congratulations.
It is what it is.
Nominations are not compulsory. Do you wish to accept the nomination, Mr. Smazel? There's a nomination. Mr. Smazel's been kind enough to accept it. Are there any other nominations for the position of vice chair? Any other nominations? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? It carries. And with the conclusion of item 3, I would pass the theoretical gavel over to Mr. Anderson.
All right, well, it looks like the next item on the agenda is review of board responsibilities by a city attorney. So I will pass this one off to the city attorney.
Isn't it fun how that works? You know, you pass it, you get it back. The more you give, the more you receive, something like that. This is an abbreviated meeting this morning with the city in a revaluation year. So I will probably reserve sort of most of my time in review for when we reconvene. But I just wanted to quickly go over the Board of Review basics. The Board of Review is a quasi-judicial body, which is just kind of a fancy way of saying that you act somewhat like a court, that you're sitting as decision makers in more the judicial function as opposed to a legislative function. So to the extent, obviously Mr. Brewster is also Councilmember Brewster, we're not making legislative policy at this meeting. We're listening to facts that are going to be presented when the board convenes for any appeals that are presented under oath, whether they're presented by the city assessor or by landowners, and that is the sole information, along with applying it to the laws as they exist in Wisconsin, and that's how you make your decision. So if you have any questions, certainly on the law, I or Blake Herbison, our Assistant City Attorney, one of us will be taking the board when you reconvene. You can certainly ask us those sort of issues, but otherwise, you shouldn't be conducting any of your own inquiry. Information outside of the hearing shouldn't be considered. It's what you know. You can bring your everyday background and experience to bear, but you shouldn't be doing specific investigation. And particularly the caution, especially since we're adjourning, we expect for a couple to several month period, is there's not work you need to do, and in fact, don't do any, please. So it's not your role. It would be inappropriate to go out and say do your own survey of the city and review the conditions as it relates to market valuations in the community, or take any calls from members that are trying to express how pleased and excited they are about the work of our city assessors, because that's the only reason they call. And we'll get more into how you hear evidence and how you make motions to affirm, the presumptions that apply, things like that, when we reconvene and are closer to hearing. But with that, if you have any questions, happy to take them. Otherwise, thank you for your service, and we'll see you again when we reconvene.
All right. Next, we need to confirm the training of at least one board member attended a training session provided by the Department of Review this year.
Board Chair, I would like to note that I submitted the affidavit for training for myself. And if I may, I have the training materials. They're little USBs that you can plug in, watch the videos. So if anyone else would like to have those before the next meeting, Mr. Solberg has them already. We can share them so everybody has a chance to watch the training videos. So I'll send out an email afterward trying to coordinate that.
All right, and then we have a statement by the city assessor regarding the status of the assessment roll.
Good morning, Chair Anderson and members of the board. Due to this year's revaluation, we are still in the process of establishing final values for the city, and our assessment roll is not yet complete. Therefore, I would like to request that the Board of Review adjourn and reconvene on September 22nd to hear all filed appeals.
All right, then we shall vote to adjourn. Let's see. It's just a simple majority, right?
For this,
Oh, yeah.
But, are we allowed to ask questions? I was wondering if, you wouldn't mind just doing like a very quick, this is how this is generally done, this is what mill rate means, this is, all that sort of stuff for us.
As you probably know, I'm still in the process of learning as well.
Okay.
And so just kind of describe where we're at right now.
Sure.
We are going through the modeling phase, modeling buildings, valuing land. Land hasn't been looked at in over 10 years, so the team is working on that. I'm going through trainings and I got my certifications, and we will be starting one-to-one valuing here shortly. So taking each property and valuing it to have everything ready throughout the summer, where assessments will be ready to go out by August. So assessment notices for the public. Does that help?
Yeah, I just, since, this is a meeting that, the public can, watch, I think we have an opportunity to talk a little bit about like how it works, so that the property taxes that people pay are a ratio of the whole, instead of like, if everybody's property goes up the same amount, then everybody's taxes basically stay the same, and I just, kind of.
And we do plan to include with the notices a little more description, which might help with some of the questions. We will have open book available to meet with the public, but if we have a statement within there, it'll help answer, like maybe overall it looks like it goes up, but maybe the taxes won't go up. So we're hoping to be more clear when we send out notices as well.
Awesome, thank you.
And perhaps I can
Go ahead.
add a little bit to that. Obviously, the city assessor's role and the division's role is to determine fair market value of properties, assign an assessed value through mass assessment work. In terms of some of that functioning and the policy, I can try to add that gloss, because obviously it's important. The public's interested in it, not necessarily the work of the assessor. But you're absolutely right in terms of revaluation. A higher valuation is not necessarily equate to a higher tax rate. Assessment, as is constitutionally, statutorily required, is a division of the total costs of local public services that are funded through the local property tax. So the city, but also the school district, the county, and the technical college, all under state law, rely heavily on property tax valuation. Those are, again, legislative and policy issues beyond the purview of this board, but closely related to the issue of property tax. Those amounts are set based on the budgets that are established by each of those local units of government. And that then sets that total size of the pie, if you will, of how much money needs to be raised and can lawfully be raised under things like levy limits through local property tax. Then how much is fairly apportioned to each individual property owner is determined based on the assessed valuation. The valuation typically stays approximately the same between revaluations, but when we have a revaluation year, we're trying to bring those assessments up to fair market value. So properties will likely see an increase if they're on average, because we've seen an appreciation overall in the real estate market. But it needs to be sort of equalized, evened out between all the properties, because they haven't all appreciated or changed in value, however they may be, necessarily exactly the same. So as that work continues, the city will almost certainly put out information of the total average percentage lift that we're seeing, and then when individual property owners see their tax bill, if they're on par with that, if they're even to that percentage, they're not going to rise or probably fall either, unless total budgets reduce in their taxes. So if all properties appreciate it over the time frame since our last revaluation, which is what, like 5-6 years?
2021.
Yeah, 21. So we'll be 5 years out. Say it's a 20% increase, just spitballing, but 4% a year probably is light actually. And your 20%, it's a push. You know, it's all going to be about the same. If you've done some improvements on your property, or you're in a neighborhood that maybe based on sales of other similar properties have increased faster, maybe you're up 25%, in which case it's that 5% difference that may cause you to see a little bit higher valuation. And again, that's to assure fairness and uniformity in application of the tax, because if you're going up more than average, that means someone else's property or a number of someone else's properties went down less, and under the law they're obligated and we're required to tax them less, because the law of taxation must be uniform. We all need to pay sort of our uniform portion of the tax bill. So that is sort of the implication of it. I'm sure more to come, because again, we haven't done a revaluation in 5 years, so it'll either faded into the happy past memory for most people that don't live this, or new homeowners that haven't seen this effect. But almost certainly the numbers will increase quite a bit, because we've had a very hot, aggressive, increasing real estate market here and across the state and country. But once that those numbers are determined by the assessor and her division, we'll get more information out to the public, so they can, each landowner, property owner can kind of understand what their changes mean a little bit more. And as the assessor indicated, when it's applied to their particular property, open book is a fantastic opportunity to come in, ask those sort of questions about why their specific property may have changed, and work through those with one of our assessors.
Thank you for that. All right, unless anyone has any more educational information, I'll accept a,
I actually have a question.
all right, I'll accept your questions.
Are we doing the whole city?
Yes, we were doing the whole city.
Okay. And the whole city was done in 2021?
Correct.
Cool. Assessments will be in sometime in August, so that's when mailings will go out?
Yes, the mailings will go out probably mid-August, and then open book will happen towards the end of August. We'll have 5 dates available for the public to come in.
Does that also count for people who had building permits in 2025, or are they getting their notices earlier?
That would also include them. We did net new construction prior to our modeling, so all of it will be incorporated in the notice.
Into the August notice?
Yes.
Okay. And then, I don't know if this is a question for you or if it's a question for one of you two over there. When we usually have this meeting every year, we don't usually get we don't really know who we're seeing until we get here that day. Is that part of the statute for that we don't see who we're seeing? Like, just so we can, are you gonna be able to give us, I think you're blocking 3 days for us in September?
So during our revaluation, we have more time, from my understanding, and so in maintenance years, I believe it's 1 day and that we have, and please correct me if I'm wrong on that, Steve.
We just don't know.
No,
So
I get
every,
that. It's just-
every year, even in a so-called maintenance year, I mean, each and every year valuations are set based on January 1, based on fair market value, you could have a bunch come in even in years where it's not a full reval. I mean, we anticipate that when you are doing revaluations, you're definitely going to have a much more active open book season, almost certainly. How many of those turn into appeals? Hard to say. Folks certainly can give notice of an intended appeal sooner than later, and that is welcome. And many residential owners will do that if they're coming in, for whatever reason, and they have their, every property owner can choose for themselves, but some of the ones that we see more often, most often the commercial retail, will wait until very late in the process to file appeals, and we'll obviously share that information as promptly as we can for scheduling purposes. No, the board can always schedule them out, so we'll set certain days aside, but again, further postponements, I mean, we try not to do that, but if the schedule is such for you all that can't accommodate, and then working with the landowner, any landowner's legal counsel or representation, we may set them out, say, a week or something like that to hold the hearing, but typically not. But you really kind of have to just play it by ear, and it's all figuring it out just that week before.
Okay, so we're probably gonna know more like the week before.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try to get you information on scheduling as promptly as we can. Happily, it typically is the situation that you schedule more time and then less time is needed, but I know that's really tough on your schedule. So again, appreciate your volunteering for this work, which is a necessary service and can take a fair amount of your time. So again, much appreciated.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions?
I move to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Can I
Go ahead.
amend that a bit? And
I withdraw my motion.
I'd like to motion that we adjourn to September 22nd, 2026 of this year for the next Board of Review meeting.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Say aye.
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 All right, we're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
We had quorum, that's all that I care about.
All right, go ahead.
Member of the board / clerk of the
Well, we appreciate your service.
Lots to learn though.
It's one of those things, it's learning on the job. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Phil